My name is Wang Jixiang in Chinese, and then my wife's name is Wang Jixiang. I like to go to the big city for a short time, so it's just a slower pace of life. We just feel like it's a bit healthier out here. So
in Chinese, we have this kind of saying like 落叶生根. I think like foreigners like you can find more authentic of the real local dialects.
People on Douyin call it the Jixiang style. It's just like my own mapu.
So hi there, this is Jessica from Beijing, and I'm now here in Pu'er, located in the southwest part of Yunnan province, right? And today we have Wang Jixiang Ryan from Pu'er. He is, I should say, an influencer in China, a really famous influencer in China, 1.4 million followers. Okay, so please introduce yourself first.
My name is Ryan. I've lived here in the Yunnan province for 13 years. I got here in 2008. I originally came over as a foreign student, and I studied Chinese for about 4 years. And then I moved to Pu'er here in 2011 and started teaching at the college that they have here in town. And then in 2013, I opened my own company, which is called Pu'er East to West, and we do all sorts of language and culture consulting and translation, English textbook sales, teacher trainings, cultural exchange events. And so, yeah, and so we've been doing that here now. And I just started playing around on Douyin or TikTok.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking the interview, and thank you so much for letting me go around the city. Because I will be only for here in Pu'er like for 5 or 6 hours, and then we will head it to Dali. Why you call yourself Jixiang, Wang Jixiang? So why Wang and then why Jixiang?
Jixiang, well, my first Chinese friend, he was actually a Beifangren in Winshan. And he called me Jixiang, and he called my wife Ruyi. And so he said, Jixiang Ruyi. And we didn't know what that meant at first. We didn't realize that was a blessing saying in China at the time. We did think it was interesting. We started seeing our names on people's doorways, right? Yeah. I picked Wang because my English name Ryan means little king. It's fun. So my name is Wang Jixiang in Chinese, and then my wife's name is Wang Jixiang.
You've mentioned that you came here for international exchange, right, like a student. So why China? What brought you to China?
I'm a communications major, and so I love to study languages. And so both my wife and I had an interest in living overseas before we even got married. And so we had some friends of ours who already lived here in Yunnan, and they said basically like, hey, you can go to a big city and learn, but like the small town, you're going to learn the same Chinese in the small town. The textbooks are all the same, but it's not as busy or crazy as a lot of the big cities. And I like to go to the big city for a short time, but I like to be, yeah. So it's just a slower pace of life. It's just we just feel like it's a bit healthier out here.
Then why Yunnan? Why Yunnan kept you here for 13 years?
Well, I mean, I think once you get roots, we say you get roots in an area, so you get relationships. We originally came here because we had friends here. It's such a different place than the rest of China. I've been to Shanghai, I've been to Beijing, I've been to Hainan, I've been to some other places, but it's just Yunnan is its own, so different. There's so many ethnic minority groups, and it just creates a completely different kind of culture. And I just really do, I love the way that the different cultures are celebrated here. And honestly, we during our time here, we saw that there was a lot of, I don't know, there's just some people who don't have the opportunities. Like in the villages, we've done a lot of free English teaching events and stuff. We'll go to villages and teach, because those village students are going to have to take the same gaokao out here and do these events, and hopefully get these kids interested in learning English, because there's 兴趣是最好的老师, right? Interest is the best teacher. It gives them some more interest, and so our hope is to just help them in their studies.
You've mentioned that you have the root in Yunnan, right? In Chinese, we have this kind of saying like 落叶生根, right? The falling leaf on the grass, and then it creates the roots, and ever since then you will leave it forever.
Excuse me, sir. Are you the doctor here?
Yeah, I'm Dr. Roy. How can I help you?
哇塞，你哋以為太繁雜啦！
翻譯要不得的嘛，
還鬼嘛啦，對不對？那我們到底應該用的是中文還是英文來交流呢？
I studied Chinese formally for 4 years before I became a teacher. But then, even since then, just living here, you're always going to be learning more language, more culture, you know, and I will never say I've mastered this place.
I think like foreigners would have more authentic, like you can find more authentic of the real local dialects, which I may not understand.
But where
right?
are you
from? Hebei.
Hebei.
The
So
capital.
you guys have your own local dialect
No.
too, right?
To be honest, no. I say
Beijing
Mandarin. Beijinghua is, I think Beijinghua is can be understood by everyone.
Right.
Right?
So
That is the standard Mandarin.
Right.
Right. So my hometown is around 1 hour by bullet train. So there's no dialect. I speak Mandarin when I was a kid.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's really a pity.
Oh.
Yeah.
So like your grandma speaks Putonghua.
Yes.
Speaks local standard.
Yes. I want to learn other languages. I want to learn other dialects, but I don't have the environment.
Right.
So the key is that you mentioned that the 兴趣是最好的老师, right? The interest is the best teacher. Is that we need to have the kind of environment to use the language, so that you can improve or you can gain more chance or like conversations with people, right?
My friends encouraged me from the very beginning, like don't just study in the classroom. And so I would study in the classroom in the morning, and then over lunch I would come up with sentences of what I've learned that day, and then I would go out on the street in the afternoon and just practice the sentences. But then on the street I would hear the local version of it, and so yeah, that's kind of, I have this, they say mapu, it's like this mixed. I don't speak complete local dialect, but I definitely don't speak complete Mandarin. I can speak Mandarin if I focus on speaking very standard Chinese, but then I have this kind of mixed language that I just, yeah, I don't know. Some people on Douyin call it the Jixiang style. It's just like my own mapu.
What is the most difficult part for you to learn Chinese? What do you think is the most difficult part?
Besides the characters? Speaking Chinese or writing Chinese? Because writing Chinese is I can recognize a lot of characters. You know, like I can read. But if you tell me to go write sentences, even now, because so much of it now is digital, right?
Yeah.
So we just do the pinging.
Exactly.
And then,
using the keyboards.
Yeah, use the keyboard. You don't ever have to write Chinese as much anymore. And so if you tell me to write sentences, I'm still going to be looking up characters like, oh, what was it? You know, I would say writing characters is by far the hardest thing. I mean, we don't understand. Like we learn 26 characters. You know, we know ABCs. You know, 大写小写. And then, you know, you write capital letters, small letters, and then you're done. You just spell everything.
When was your last time to write Chinese characters?
Well, the other day, so I'm currently editing some videos that I'm going to put on my WeChat account, right? So I was trying to take notes for the people who were helping me edit my videos because they had some small mistakes and stuff. So they're like, oh, just write it down. Tell us where the mistakes were. And I was like, trying to like, I'm literally looking up the words like, 写怎么写, you know, and trying to write down these characters for them. You know, I was like, if I can just leave you a WeChat message, it would be so much easier.
Yeah.
But they were like, oh no, here's a notebook. Just write it down for us. And I was like, oh, okay. This jizhua, like my chicken scratch Chinese characters. I can recognize more characters now than ever. In fact, it's very natural for me just to look around and read characters, but to actually write the characters and remember the strokes, each one. You know what I mean? It's difficult.